Hello and welcome to Life Talks, the Shorts, episode 5. I'm your host, Uncle Chad, and giving praise and honor to God, who's the head of my life, you know what I'm saying? And the reason I keep moving forward, want to send a big shout out to my daughter, who, you know, is at an age right now to where she's trying to find her way in life, and she supports her daddy, and my other daughter too. She supports her daddy, and I appreciate it. Big shout out to them and my two sons, you know, who, you know, push daddy into getting into this social media thing, and everything, and the reason for wanting to live positive, what I'm saying, set good examples, be a good father, you know. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to my daddy. I know I guess everybody like, why is he shouting out everybody? But these are people who are very important to me on my spiritual walk, who help me and uh, give me good feedback when I need somebody to talk to. Big shout out to my mama, you know, my other daddy, people, just a lot of good people that's in my life right now, And today I really wanted to talk about, you know, some of the things that I got going on. This morning, I do a daily biblical verse message, that I sent out and everything. And I sent one to my daughter, it's like that's why I was shouting her out, and everything. But it was talking about, uh, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, which a lot of people may be like, well, I don't want to talk about he talking about the Bible and all of that there. And, I understand that may not interest a lot of people. But my daughter asked me what that verse of the Bible meant because it also stated that uh, I don't want to get it wrong exactly what it said, and I don't have my notes right here, but in a nutshell, it was saying that in the biblical sense of a fool will not listen to wise counsel and attain wisdom. Basically because they're self-righteous. They only believe in what they believe in. They don't choose to follow the laws and the commandments of the Heavenly Father, which He wrote in the Bible. Those are the words of the Heavenly Father. So I was just trying to basically explain that to her, and I really appreciate it because she's putting forth that effort, even if she have her own beliefs and think the way she think. She's still inquisitive enough to ask questions, and she's asking questions about some real good things, and I thank God that I'm at a place in my life spiritually to where I can lead my children on a good path the best I can, because God give us all free will and the choice to do as we choose. And I don't force nothing upon my children. It's my job as a father to be there to support them in whatever it may be. True enough, if they don't choose to follow the path of God, of course that would kind of bother me because and when he come back in at time of judgment after I hope that we all will be together. So basically that's what that is. So we really not gonna stay on that a long time. I'm not gonna stay on that a long time talking about that situation. And let's see, the day was pretty, like I said, I was blessed, what I'm saying? Got to be blessed in it, spend some time with my daddy today, we work together. And we spend our Thursday mornings together, which is very, very positive, what I'm saying? Very enlightening, you know, because we studied that's my teacher, well, my mentor in the spirit, that's my father, and that's my friend. So it's always a joy to be with him, and cut the food and just talk, you know, and that's being a spiritual person. That's right up my alley. Talking about the word and then talking about life. You know, this basic episode 5 is basically for me a freestyle a day. So I'm just basically not really pinpointing on one thing, but just conversating, talking to the people, letting them know what's on my mind or what may have went on and stuff. Yeah. I was on Instagram earlier today and seen some wicked, crazy stuff. You know, uh, I really don't indulge in this stuff because to me that's not important on a whole lot of levels. But I was on Instagram just sending a video through of me just enjoying myself, and I went on the search thing and they showed this thing about these real life sex dolls. I mean, look just like real people or whatever it may be, and the caption on the thing was, if this is how sex dolls are now, how they making sex dolls, we are effed up. And so I'm taking that as that was a woman, you know, sending that post through. But that's kind of that's kind of crazy to me, you know what I'm saying? And the way that we put so much emphasis and focus on sexuality and sex and all this kind of stuff right here. My thing is, where does your brain capacity have any room to do anything else? Really, I mean, I'm not knocking anybody down for what they do or what they think, you know what I'm saying? Because at one point in time, I was there too, But it's just, my value system is at a level now to where, I think about pleasing God more than anything else, and I understand to know the word, and I know that a lot of things that go on in this world today is vanity and vexation of the spirit. People say that they're individuals. They don't care what people think. They're not trying to impress anybody or anything like that. If you be honest with yourself and knew the word, then you would see that that's what you're doing. You know, Regardless of the spirituality or whatever you get on the internet or you walk in there on the street, showing all your assets. I mean, you're trying to get attention, And even if you're not trying to get attention and you feel like this is me, I'm an individual, this is how I want to do, but you sending out a signal to those sinful people, those satanistic people, those who are just sinful people. I mean, they speak malice in their heart and in their mind, and you don't know it. And that's the same thing with guys who are materialistic. That have all the fancy jewelry and always flaunt your money and all that type of stuff like that. There's people out there that's looking at that, and that's not on a spiritual level. They don't care about what they do to you. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, be conscious about it. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself, be an individual, do what you do. But just because you're an individual and you do what you choose to do because you have that choice, there's people out here in this world that don't believe in morality. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about what they do to a person or how they see a person. And when you giving off signs that you this way or that way, when these people are heartless or they see some kind of gain from it, or they just wicked people, they exploit. They may exploit it. I don't know. I'm just speaking on how I feel and what I think. You know what I'm saying? I just want women to be women. You know what I'm saying? Have some a certain level of, I'm not gonna say dignity, because even if they dress the way they want to, a lot of people do have dignity. I'm not trying to judge anybody. You know what I'm saying? But I I want you to be safe. You know, I want women to see themselves as beings of value, like you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? You women, a woman is God's gift to man. So that a man would not be alone. You know, but I mean, you have to look. It's a double standard like us. I really shouldn't be talking about it, but I'm just expressing how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not important to me what other people do. So I have to worry about my own spirit. You know what I'm saying? And keep my own self on the right path in servitude, and you know what I'm saying, being responsible and to take care of myself and all of this other stuff, and reach the goals that I have. But like I said, today was a freestyle. It was a freebie for me, I would say. For me, just to get some things out. You know, because I enjoy this. I love doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's a way for me to get things off my chest and off my mind. And if people watch this, you know what I'm saying, they might relate to it, or you know it may feel like I'm wrong, or the way I think is biased, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can take anything. You know what I'm saying? And I take it with understanding that we all have free will. We are free to think what we want to think. We're free to believe what we want to believe. We're free to do whatever we want to. And then at the end of time, when judgment day comes, then that's when you have to answer to God for what you do. You know, and I understand that, and that's why, you know what I'm saying, I try my best not to judge anybody, because it's not my place. You know, if a person don't know God and don't walk the path of righteousness and spirituality, I have to understand, because I walked that same path at one time and probably did a whole lot worse things than other people. That's not for me to say, and that's not for me to worry, because I'm living in the past. God has wiped my slate clean from my repentance, and I move forward. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want people. That's what I want for people. You know what I'm saying? To live positive. You know what I'm saying? To move forward. You know what I'm saying? Whatever goals you set for yourself, be diligent at it. You know what I'm saying? Learn a certain level of discipline in order for you to do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And to my youths and everything, it's all right to do whatever you want to do, but think about tomorrow. Don't live for the day, and don't live for yesterday. You live for the next second. You know what I'm saying? If you living for today, make sure you think about where your life gonna turn in that next second. Don't don't think about the last second that just passed, because there's nothing you can do to get back. You can't go and say, "Oh, I gotta hit replay," or "I want to do over." You can't do that. It's just you gotta keep moving forward, and say, "Okay, on my next move." It's just like a chess game. You know what I'm saying? I gotta think about the next move, or try to think 3, 4 moves ahead. You know, to make sure that you covered. And the biggest thing about it is making sure that you have that higher power, that even if you don't really, well, if you don't believe in it, then there's nothing that I can do. Okay. But like I said, today was a freestyle day on Life Talks, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, every day is a blessing to me. You know what I'm saying? Reaching out and communicating with people, and seeing how they think, and learning things about them in life is what I do. And I appreciate all those who check out the videos on YouTube, check out the videos on Instagram that I send to let it be known and accept the scripture. So this is Uncle Chad. This is Life Talks, episode 5, and we will see you tomorrow.